Hey there, YouTube and my w163 ML friends on bensworld.org and elsewhere. Question, a little help needed here on my O2 ML500, changing the fuel filter. The job is very, very difficult. I've got most of the preliminary work done. The fender liner's out, of course the wheel's off. We've got the carpet up, the rear seat out, other seat tilted forward, and the top of the fuel pump is exposed and the fuel lines are off. These are the two lines that go to the fuel filter, which sits just inside there. Like literally, it's almost there. I can almost touch it with my finger. And these lines came off. A little bit tricky. Press in on the yellow tabs, pull up when you pull in the connectors, and they will pop off a little bit tight after 20 years of sitting there. And that's not the difficulty. Here is the new filter. Here's the one I'm having a challenge with. Basically, these two here are those two lines you just saw over there. So the real challenge is this one and this one, because it's just, this unit is just buried between the body and the frame. And let me kind of point at the connectors I'm having an issue with. Okay, so this may not look very daunting from here, but trust me, it is. Okay, that connector there is the far left one. It feeds up to the front of the car, of the engine, of course, but that would be the output side of the filter. But there's a little tab there, and you just don't have enough room to shove your hand up in there to get your fingers in a proper alignment to press those tabs hard enough to pop that connection off. And I've been trying for an hour and just haven't gotten it. My fingers really don't fit up in there. The phone's kind of showing it a little bit. The camera's making it look like it's easy access, but it's not. And then this one is about equally as hard. That little guy right there, that's, I'm told, a vent line. That one there is every bit as stubborn. Part of the challenge here is you're afraid to crack this stuff. This is 20-year-old plastic lines. And then it's a nightmare of plumbing. If you crack something, you got to go chasing it down, and everything's buried up above the tanks and the suspension and all that. So I'm just hoping for a little bit of input from people. The challenge is that you see the cavity of this thing is shoved up in there. Literally, you can hardly get your hands in there. And unfortunately, that line is so short there, there's no way to pull the filter out. I can't move the filter even a millimeter this way to get more room. So one of my questions was, let me see if I can change the angle here. Okay, one of my questions was the fuel line that comes from the front of the vehicle, or I should say goes to the front of the vehicle. Where does that go under the car or up? Where does it next make its appearance, either under the vehicle or at the front of the engine compartment? So perhaps a person could push a little bit of the line this way, which would give some slack, which would allow the filter to come out so you could get a better purchasing grip on those tabs to release the connector. So I don't know the answer to that. I looked around, there was nothing obvious. I remember one guy saying he cracked the line and had to replace it all the way from the front to the back, and it was a truly nightmarish plumbing job. So these are some issues that are going to get worse and worse as these vehicles age. And that's my question. So thank you for any input. Those of you that have wrestled this one and done it successfully, I'd love to hear the secrets of your success. If you're seeing this video on YouTube, please feel free to post how you solved it. You know, I'm sure some of you will say, hey, I went to the dealership and paid, you know, $300, $400, $500 to have this changed, which I'm sure is what it is, because I'm already 3, 4, 5 hours into this thing, depending on how much time it took to take those seats out. And it's just literally the worst fuel filter job I've ever seen. Anyhow, thanks for y'all's input. I really appreciate you watching. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.